Menopausal and perimenopausal women, listen up. It's time to take control of your health and comfort, and Winona is here to help. Winona is a telemedicine company for menopause care who believes that your symptoms are real, important, and deserve to be taken seriously. And for many women, this starts with hormone replacement therapy. Winona's HRT is made with plant-based, bioidentical hormones rather than synthetic ones, so it better aligns with your body to offer relief from hot flashes, weight gain, and other uncomfortable symptoms. 80% of women who use Winona find relief within just 90 days. So, what are you waiting for? Get started today. Visit buywinona.com today to start your free visit. With free shipping and the ability to pause or cancel at any time, your path to wellness has zero obligations. Use code SPRING24 at buywinona.com for 25% off your first treatment plan. That's BYWINONA.com for 25% off. Winona. Menopause care made easy. Summer is the season of hot temperatures, outdoor adventures, and refreshing water activities. Summer is also the season of rough on your feet, causing dry, cracked heels and toes. Introducing Babyfoot, the original exfoliation foot peel that contains 16 natural extracts formulated to remove dead skin cells in 3 easy steps. Apply the booties, relax for an hour, then wash your feet. In 14 days, you've got baby smooth skin and your feet have never been softer. Letting dead skin cells build up over time is hazardous to your foot health. Our professional-grade DIY products, like our original exfoliation foot peel, our men's foot peel, or our moisturizing mask, are some of the best foot care products on the market, created with your foot health in mind. Pamper yourself with a spa day from the comfort and convenience of your own home with Babyfoot. If you want a chemical-free, easy-to-use exfoliating process from the company that created the original foot peel, it's time to treat yourself to Babyfoot. Go to babyfoot.com and use the code SUMMERFEET24 and get 20% off your first order with Babyfoot. That's babyfoot.com and use the code SUMMERFEET24.
Hello, and welcome to Too Stupid to Live, a podcast that reviews romance novels $5 and under. I'm your host, Becky Feldman, and I am just continuing to send everyone love during these extraordinary times. And I hope that today's episode can provide you with a brief hour of joy. Should you need it? Should you want it? My guest today is YA writer Robyn Schneider. She's the best-selling author of The Beginning of Everything, Extraordinary Means, and Invisible Ghosts. And she's here to discuss her newest book, which includes a very poignant romantic plotline called You Don't Live Here. And I have to say that You Don't Live Here is just an amazing book. I highly recommend it, and it's out right now. Another book that I highly recommend just happens to be the one that we're reviewing today. Go figure. It's called Chosen by the Dragon, which that too also has a very poignant romantic plotline. So please enjoy my chat with Robyn Schneider.
Well, listen, broads wearing bras on the podcast.
Ooh, broads wearing bras.
Yeah. This is probably a podcast first where people are like, "Oh my god, the host and guests are wearing bras." This is professional. Maybe. Well,
Little do they know.
yeah. Robyn, welcome to Too Stupid to Live.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. Man, I don't even know where to begin. I just finished reading You Don't Live Here, so I'm like a little teary-eyed. But yeah, so I mean, I always ask like my author guests just to like launch right in and like tell us about yourself.
Sure. Yeah. All right. All up front. Here we go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So I am the author of 4 contemporary YA novels. The Beginning of Everything, Extraordinary Means, Invisible Ghosts, and now You Don't Live Here, which is my newest. You Don't Live Here is kind of like a take on the OC and Gilmore Girls, except it's queer and it's modern and it's like charmingly depressing at times.
Yes, oh my god, yeah. I felt like I loved the main character, just like her like just sarcasm was very refreshing, especially like for a high schooler, because like high schoolers are very smart and sarcastic and you don't like see that except like weirdly in Riverdale.
Yeah, no, I totally get you. I think I write about like theater kids in a dark place. Like there's always quirk and humor, even as like everything crumbles.
Right, totally. Yeah, yeah, I think that's who I was when I was in high school, so that's probably why I like related to the book so much and like related to her just being in a dark place but also like being there for her new friends and yeah.
Well, it's like what was that show? It was like Daria, right? It's like, are you a Quinn or are you a Daria? And I feel
Yeah.
like most of us bookish kids um like trend more toward being a Daria.
Oh, for
So
sure. Absolutely. Yeah. So I read a bit of your bio on your website, but you did you go to med school? Is that what? Tell us about how you became a writer. Is my point, because I find it like I found it so fascinating, and yeah, but I will do a terrible job.
I
So.
will probably also do a terrible job. It's sort of a banana pants story. I decided that I was going to become a novelist when I was 13, and then I spent the next like 13 years fighting it. Um, I don't like second guessing it. I read the Harry Potter books when I was on Christmas vacation with my family. My mom bought me the first one, and I read it like cover to cover on an airplane. And when I put it down, I was just like, oh my God, I have to be a writer. This book is amazing. I want to do this. I want to do stuff like this.
Mhm.
And my cousin, who was a little bit older than me and was home from a Swiss boarding school, was so not amused at the idea of having to hang out with me on a family vacation. I should note my cousin is a boy on top of all of this. And he was just ignoring me, and so I got out a notebook and I started writing what turns out to be Harry Potter fan fiction, but I was very sure it was a novel.
Mhm.
And I spelled the title wrong and everything, but I kept going. I wrote it on this vacation, and I got home and I saved up all of my money from birthdays and Hanukkah and everything for a year. And I bought this very cheap compact Presario laptop and I typed it up. I finished a novel and then I sent it out to literary agents and no one wanted it. I was 14, it was
Sure.
very cute, but I kept going. So when I was a freshman in college, I actually did land a literary agent. I think it was my third or fourth book at that point. And then I sold that to Random House. So I was 18 and I had this book deal, which seems like, a really great thing, except it all went horribly wrong. There was like another author around my age who was a student at Harvard, and her books were on like Good Morning America or something, the Today Show. They were doing like they were in the New York Times bestseller list, and then it turned out she was a plagiarist. And when that happened, people kind of freaked out and were like, "Oh no, maybe we shouldn't keep promoting all of these like wonderkind teenage authors just in case." And I
Oh
remember my college
man.
newspaper ran this like article. I say my college newspaper, I mean like a jealous classmate ran this article like, what if Robyn is also a plagiarist? And I was like, how dare you?
Did.
But it was like the moment of bad press at like the dawn of like the blogging era where it's like my Google is ruined. And
Mhm.
I don't know, it all went badly. Like the book just flopped, and I had wound up like selling a few other books. Also, right when I was starting college, and when I was faced with the moment to pick a major, I was like, I'm a failed novelist. It probably shouldn't be English, because don't you get that English degree and like take all those creative writing classes and take all those
Mhm.
internships and go out into the world hoping to get a book deal and become a novelist? Been there, done that, went terribly, like so badly. Um, so I picked pre med.
Mhm.
But, I just felt like, why not pivot hard? Uh, and I went through with it, honestly. I just never stopped writing books. Like, you're probably supposed to, if you give up on your dream, like set it aside, but I didn't. I just kept it like secretly at the bottom of my bag and I kept taking it out. So I would go to like physics lab and I would be there all day, and then I would go and sneak into the coffee shop where all of the MFA students would write on their laptops, and I would work on novels still.
Mhm.
Right when I was about to go off to medical school, I sold a fantasy series under a pen name on a partial manuscript, like a middle grade fantasy series. And I deferred med school. I moved to London and I started writing this series, and this thing was cursed. I had three editors. One was fired before he could work on it. The next two retired after getting cancer in rapid fire.
Oh
And
my god. That's
I know. Like, I just could not get a break. And then I had two books canceled because Random House had bought too many books. So they were just like, keep the advance. We're not going to publish the manuscripts.
ugh.
I know. And I was like, okay, I'm like on book 6 here. I'm 23, and this is a tragedy of the first order. So I just really threw myself into medicine for like a year.
Mhm.
Um, and then I panicked. I felt like, oh, maybe this was not the thing I should be doing. And I don't know. I felt like, I mean, you're a Hollywood person. You always like hear about this terrible pitch that people always do. There's like two of them out here. It's like, what happens to the missing sock is one, and the other is It's Legally Blonde but in med school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I was the Legally Blonde but in med school one.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um, like it was a moment, and I started writing a book in secret. I like dropped out. I applied to get my MFA in producing at like USC. I was interning on a film set, living in Brooklyn, and I was writing this book, and at the last minute, everything fell apart, and my agent didn't even want to read it. And it was the book that turned out to be the beginning of everything. He just said, no, like, I do not care if you're writing YA, it's not going to sell. Just put it away. And grad school fell through. I actually took a place on the wait list. Or no, I deferred my place. I'm trying to remember what happened. I was making YouTube videos. This is all like wild, but I was making YouTube videos and I was supposed to get a grant from Google. They
Mhm.
had me sign an NDA. It was this whole thing. It was a contest. There were 35 people, and we were all going to get a large sum of money to make digital content. And everyone except for me who had signed this NDA was given the grant. And I had already let grad school know, let the START program know that I was not interested.
Mhm.
And I had given up my apartment and I had nothing. My agent wouldn't read my book. I didn't know what to do. I had no job. I had nothing going for me except the fact that I had had literally a 4.0 studying medicine, because I just channel Hermione hardcore when it comes to school. And I just called them up. I was like, can I go back? And then I spent a few days frantically revising my book, queried some new literary agents, and within a week had a new agent. And then within my first semester back studying, I my book sold in a 3-house auction, in a
Wow.
like in a huge deal, and I just moved to Los Angeles to be a full-time writer, hoping that like this time, fingers crossed, it wasn't going to be the disaster it had been. It just felt different. I think, when you've failed so magnificently so many times, you can kind of tell when something is going right for the first time, and it felt like it was going right. So I moved out to LA. I've been here for I think 8 years, and I've been writing YA books ever since. I
Mhm.
got my master's in medicine. I basically said, what can I do to get a master's degree in the next few weeks? And I churned out this, I really think, not great thesis. And I have my master's of biomedical ethics. I'm a bioethicist, which is a degree that you can do nothing with unless you have your doctorate.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it is contingent upon a terminal degree at the
Mhm.
doctoral level, uh,
Right.
for you to be able to use it in any setting other than I have a pitch for a medical TV show. So,
There you go.
or I have a book about teens dying of tuberculosis.
Great. Great.
So, 2 out of 2, right?
Yeah, it feels like you're putting it to good use. That's incredible. I mean, like, it feels like you from such a young age had like such drive. Did people in your life like ever point that out?
I was intense. I was a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I had older parents. I have older parents. They're still around. I have older parents, and I was an only child. And my parents are Jewish, and my mother is a former teacher from
Mhm.
like a gifted program. And I'm sure you can imagine, um, my extracurricular activities were things like write a poem to enter this contest, and join Future Scientists and Engineers of America, and
Uh-huh.
things like that. So, yeah, my parents drove me a lot, but they always encouraged me to pick something practical. I think
Mhm.
a lot of people in my family, like throughout generations, especially on my mom's side, were very, very tempted to go into the arts and to become writers, and everyone chose lawyer.
Mhm.
And I'm the only one who followed through and went with the writing.
Yeah.
So that's really kind of crazy that I'm the only one, but everyone else, very much was tempted and got so close and then
Mhm.
pivoted away at the last moment. But yeah, I was I was a very intense kid. I think I found this book by this author Amelia Atwater Rhodes when I was 13, and
Mhm.
she was 13 and she was a published author.
Mhm.
And I did not know that her next door neighbor, I believe, was a literary agent,
Oh,
which
wow.
was not a privilege like of which I was afforded.
Mhm.
But I was like, if she did it, then I can do it. And remember Harry Potter, remember J.K. Rowling, and I was just like, it's a dream. I bet I can make it happen. There are plenty of people who make their dreams happen.
Mhm.
And if I don't, well, everyone in my family is kind of gone lawyer or doctor anyway. So just so long as I keep my grades up, I guess my failure will not be a humiliation.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that I mean, it's so funny that you're saying this because, like, just listening to you talk now, I see so many similarities and You Don't Live Here, with the main character of, like, she's an artist and her, grandparents want her to go into law or, something more practical, and I would love to talk about that book. So do you wanna give, like, just, like, a very quick, like, synopsis and, like, how you came up with the idea?
Sure. So the book is about a girl named Sasha. It's set 5 seconds in the future, or I guess 5 seconds in the future without coronavirus.
Yeah.
um,
That's
and
it,
yeah, she's living in a small town in California when the big earthquake hits,
Mhm.
and her mom dies in the earthquake, and she is sent to live with her estranged grandparents who live in a wealthy conservative beach town. I think the easiest way to think of it is it's Gilmore Girls if Lorelai died and Rory had to go live with their
Oh,
grandparents.
yeah.
Yeah, and Sasha's grandparents are very old school, and they think she's straight. She's actually bi, and they decide that she is the do-over for their rebellious daughter. And they encourage her to live a life that isn't really one that fits her perfectly. And while she's trying to make them happy, she winds up meeting the girl next door, Lily. And Lily encourages her to be her authentic self, not just in terms of her sexuality, but in terms of her passions. And she winds up having to figure out who she wants to be and how to be that person and how to live a life that feels authentic and true after a huge tragedy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so, I felt like this, like, book is also to me was also about, like, grief and dealing with grief, and what made you wanna, like, just, like, tackle that subject?
I have to tell you, every time I turn in a book to my editor, she says, I love it. You need to kill one of the characters in it.
Oh my god,
Every time.
kill, like, murder or, like, "Oh, don't add that character."
No, like make them dead. Like this character that was in your book is lovely, but
Uh-huh.
would your book be more dramatic if they weren't in the book and all of the other characters were grieving them?
Mhm, mhm.
So this happened in the beginning of everything. It happened in Invisible Ghosts. Yeah, it happens a lot. It happened in this one. I had actually written the mom having to move back in with her parents as
Mhm.
well, and it just didn't have the right tension. But part of what I was thinking of when I felt like wanting to write this story, and what made it like such a compelling story for me, first of all, was writing about being bisexual as a teenager and having it just be part of the narrative and not the main thing, and writing about coming of age, not just
Mhm.
coming out, because I so rarely saw bi girl books that tackled that. And I really wanted to read one, and I really wanted to send one back in time to my teenage self.
Uh-huh.
And the other thing was, I started writing it shortly after the election.
Mhm.
And I realized that a lot of families had suddenly confronted, a lot of families were suddenly confronted with political beliefs of loved ones that didn't match their own, and it felt very jarring, and there was this huge disconnect and anger, and I was just seeing so many families just upset with one another and not being able to trust each other fully and feeling betrayed. And I was thinking, what would it feel like as a teenager to go through this, to think of adults as a safe space, and to no longer be entirely sure.
Mhm.
So I felt like that was something that teens could really relate to. I felt that was something everyone could relate to, is what happens when you're not sure about family members believing in what you believe in,
Mhm.
and supporting you no matter what. So I wanted to write um, a story that had coming out elements where it wasn't about parents specifically. It was about dealing with a found family and
Mhm.
not knowing how to relate to your found family without being fully honest, but being afraid of being fully honest.
Mhm. Totally. I feel like like there's a like a transition that like from being a young adult to an adult you go through is realizing that adults aren't perfect and they make mistakes, and it's this realization of like, oh, they're wrong, and it's like this like mind-blowing thing.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy to realize that adults don't have all the answers, or that maybe the answer they gave you isn't right.
Yeah, and just, like, having the strength to say that, and, I think about I was thinking about, like, how Sasha is gonna finish high school, like, with the rest until graduation, and then, ultimately she moves out, and I'm like, "What is that gonna be like?"
I'm curious too. I feel like characters walk into my head fully formed, and then when the story is done, they just, ghost me.
Yeah,
And they have like locked down social media, and I just cannot figure out for the life of me what they're up to.
yeah,
And readers are always asking me, but I kind of feel like I don't like to wrap everything up neatly in a bow in the end, because, real people don't have neat, wrapped up endings. And
sure,
I
yeah.
like I like my stories to feel like they're about real people and not just like moralistic coming of age kissing things that follow a 3-act structure within this word count.
Uh-huh, yeah. Would you ever consider, like, writing a sequel to any of your books?
Maybe. I've always been asked to write a sequel to the beginning of everything, and I feel like Toby, which was the best friend character, is probably the character I would want to follow, because everyone's like, we love Toby, we want more Toby.
Mhm,
But Toby is an out gay boy, and I just don't think that that experience is something that is similar enough to my own to
mhm.
know how to write about in a way where I'm, additive to that genre. So like, no, I'm like, oh, I wish I maybe Phoebe, like I love Phoebe as a character. I could write about her senior year. Like there were
Mhm.
some hints there. I'm not sure. I think I love all of my books and they don't need sequels, but I wouldn't mind if they had film or TV adaptation.
Right, yeah. I'm so curious if I'm thinking that because, like, when I as a 35-year-old reading a YA thing, I find myself, like, very, like, introspective about my life, and I know how I turned out, so I'm always, like, curious as to, like, how are these main characters going to turn out? And I'm wondering,
Mhm.
like, I wonder if like a YA reader, who is in high school probably probably doesn't like think about that as much as I do. I don't know.
I think they do to an extent, like think about what happens next. Not
Mhm,
like what happens 5 years down the line, but where do they go to college? Like, who do they wind up falling in love with next? Especially if relationships are open ended in stories, like how long do those last? Do they work out?
mhm,
Is there a happily ever after here? And it's weird with You Don't Live Here. I'm right now doing the pitch for a TV adaptation, and we're having to go into like what happens in season 2 and season 3, which you have to do when you pitch a show.
mhm.
And so I've had to go past the end of the book within the universe still, and it's a little brain breaking.
Uh-huh.
Um, like to think about where you go in terms of adding more drama and more plot to
Yeah.
the story. But I mean, not the story, because these characters in a different story told visually in a different format. But
Mhm.
yeah, that is wild to me. Like, I'm struggling with it. I definitely have blown past my deadline and have a blank page that's a little bit stressing me out.
Oh, I'm sorry I made you like relive.
It's fine. Every
Yeah,
moment is
more.
me reliving that deadline that has just gone whoosh. It's fine. I'll get to it. I'm on deadline for another project now, which is actually my first time writing a series.
Mhm.
Well, since my like short-lived horrible middle grade series that I wrote after college under a pen name that, like,
Mhm.
shall not be named. But it was not erotica; it just shall not be named.
Mm.
I wish. But yeah, it's interesting now setting up myself to write a series and to revisit characters and to even maybe write like another trilogy after this one set in
Mhm.
the same world, either a prequel or a sequel trilogy. It is crazy how much nuance you need to put in,
Mhm.
um, but like how little you need to say. And I think I'm
Yeah.
just so bad at it. I think I just go blah, 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 and I say everything.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely like something that I like coming up with like writing a pilot is, something that like I think about of like I have all of these ideas or I'll be asked a question and they'll be like, "What about this?" And I'm like, "I don't know if there's room for that in the pilot." And they're like, "But you got to know." And it's like, "Oh, yeah, good point." And it's like, "Oh, you have to like make this whole world before you like make the actual product."
Oh, the series Bible. Oh dear.
Yeah.
I my very first experience with a series Bible, I was a tiny naive child. I was 26. I had just moved to LA, and I
Mhm.
had this meeting with like Sam Raimi's production company, and they wanted a show about fairies. And I had this like off the cuff pitch. I went in. I just told them my idea.
Mhm.
My friend had like dropped me off. We were going to go to the beach after. Like it was just
Mhm.
such a weirdly casual experience for me, and they were like, "Do you think you could do a series Bible?" I was like, "Oh, sure, I guess. I've never seen one. Can you send me an example?" They were like, "Yeah, no problem. We'll send you one tonight." And I was like, "Okay, well, how can I have until Friday to get this to you?" It was like Tuesday.
Oh, man.
Like I genuinely thought that I could come up with an original series Bible by Friday,
Oh,
having never seen a Bible before. I did it, by the way. I have
oh,
never been
I that
able
doesn't it does not surprise me at all.
I have never been able to replicate like that fugue state of writing that I was in. Just oh dear God. But yeah, like it was one of those things where I had to know everything about the world
Mhm.
only to write 40 pages about it.
Right, totally. I wanna talk about, like, some of the feedback you've gotten from your books from, YA readers and how, like, that's made an impact on you.
Um, oh, just the feedback in general.
Yeah,
Well,
because you
there
also do, like, workshops and stuff like that, and you appear on panels and things like that, and I'm just, like, curious as to, like, what, like, just meeting readers has like, how that has affected you.
Oh, it's so fun. I also realize that they do not see me as an authority figure whatsoever. I am 34. I don't think I look or act or sound 34, at least to a teenager. I can't quite figure out what it is, but I remember I was flown up to San Francisco for a day. There was one school, the whole school was reading my book, Beginning of Everything, and they wanted me to do an assembly. And I got on the stage, I did my assembly, people had questions, whatever, and then the students, literally this entire high school, were supposed to line up to get their books signed.
Mhm.
And this was the day that Snapchat unveiled filters, including the rainbow vomit one.
Uh-huh.
And all of the kids, instead of wanting their books signed, just wanted to like stand behind the table with me and take rainbow vomit selfies. And I was like, okay, fine, we'll do this. And the teachers were horrified. They were like, this is an academic enrichment moment here. Like, we flew in this author. I think they thought I was going to be like a stuffy person in a tweed jacket talking
Uh-huh.
about, use of metaphor. And, we could have done that, but I think it was like a Friday afternoon. So instead, we did rainbow vomit selfies. So that's kind of my experience with teens
Mhm.
is they are so delightful and surprising and smart.
Mhm.
And I love it. I love how they treat reading as recess, even though it's also like the full academic course load for them.
Totally, yeah. So wait, are your books, like, part of, like, an academic, like, part of people like, English class, like, for high schoolers?
Yeah, sometimes. I think I'm on like 12 or so state reading lists. So
Cool.
it happens. And I'm always shocked. Like in the first chapter of Beginning of Everything, there is a decapitation on a roller coaster ride, a bunch of underage drinking, a blowjob scene, And I'm just like, why is this homework? Like, I understand, that they pair it with like Great Gatsby because there's a lot of references or something. But
Mhm.
to me, it's always mind blowing because I wrote it as sheer entertainment literature. I grew up reading John Green, and I was like, ooh, I want to write that, but I want to write that for the girls who get mistaken for manic pixie dream girls.
Yeah.
And so I tried it, and then people were like, capital L literature. And I was like, really? And it's always this interesting moment when I get these emails from teens that are like, dear Mrs. Schneider, in my 10th grade class, we have, and I'm just like, oh dear. Like, you want to know about the symbolism? Fine, because there's a lot of there's a lot of teens who don't want to know about the symbolism. They just want to like DM me on Instagram, and that's fine too. Like,
Yeah.
we can be highbrow, we can be middlebrow, we can be lowbrow.
Mhm.
But yeah, sometimes my books are included in academic curriculae, is that the word?
Yeah, I
My like
believe you. I trust you. It's curriculae.
I, it might not be. I never took Latin, so it's probably
I
nothing like
did,
that.
and I
Oh,
remember. I don't remember anything.
all of the Latin I remember is from watching Spring Awakening on Broadway.
That's more than I mean, yeah, I don't know why I took Latin. Like, I wish I didn't. It was, I mean, I don't
Was
know.
it Dead Poet Society? Did that get you? Was it like these old school dark academia movies that like made you
Mhm.
believe that like you would live in this moody, atmospheric, like secret history-esque world if you did?
Totally. It was like, oh, I was like into like, like writing and theater. And I was like, oh, like the origins of words. I love like it was like real, it was kind of pretentious. Of like, I love prose. And also it was like, oh, I heard you do well in your SATs if you take Latin. Like that was always a thing. And I don't know, I guess I also did it because I wanted to be different. And what in what world would be like my way to stand out is to take a Latin, which is like insanely hard. I don't remember a single thing. I got nothing out of it. I don't know.
I mean, I took French in high school, and then my last year I took French and Spanish. So I was the senior in with the beginning Spanish freshman, and
Mhm.
I just caused chaos, and it was wonderful.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I wish we'd had Latin. I would have taken it. I definitely needed it in college,
Sure. Yeah.
unfortunately.
I mean, there are times where I see it like pop up of like, oh yeah, that's like like I don't know, like ambular or like whatever, like that's walking, like ambulatory. I remember what that's from. And then it's like, okay, I read a word and I kind of know the origin of it. That helped. Moving
Well, I
on.
mean, it's
Fine.
like Harry Potter and Buffy have so much Latin in them anyway that you kind of
Right.
like learn it by osmosis if you're a nerd.
Mhm. Oh my God, 100%. Yeah. Sometimes when I'm like writing and I'm like making up shit, I'm like making up random words for like planets or something. I'll just like look at a Latin word and be like, oh, how can I like adjust the letters here? And it's like, okay, all right, maybe Latin did serve me for my like weirdo writing shit.
Yeah, I've had to make up a magic system for this secret thing that I'm writing,
Mhm.
and definitely having to look at like etymology of uh, like medical phrases has been
Mhm.
interesting. And I go through them in like Latin, Greek, like Old French, and all of the different roots, and it's exhausting.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we should transition into the book that
Let's talk smut now.
let's talk smut. We're doing, I mean, which I think should probably also be on the reading list for high schoolers because it's, it was so fascinating.
Well, it ties into the Great Gatsby in very metaphorical
It
ways,
does. It does. There's Latin terms in it, I'm sure. We are reviewing a novella called Chosen by the Dragon. I will read a quick synopsis. Okay. So, Chosen by the Dragon is a dragon shifter paranormal romance by Selena Scott. It is currently 99 cents. Okay. So, Lucy thinks she's just a typical New Yorker, working as a physical therapist and lucky in love and enjoying outings to art museums. But what she doesn't know is that she is the perfect match to breed with a dragon shifter, aka a person who can morph into a dragon. Those are just for the listeners that have never read a romance novel before, which is like my dad. Anyway, so and it's not just any dragon shifter, it's the king of the dragon realm. But when she's kidnapped and forced to marry the king, she's keen on escaping, and not just back to New York, but into the arms / dragon claws of the king's smoldering and strapping bodyguard, Amos, who has an earring.
Oh yes, he does have an earring.
Oh, that earring. So do you read romance novels?
I do. I usually read ones that are more like meet cute rom-commy than this,
Yeah.
or more Regency. But I mean, like, who hasn't accidentally read a couple Chuck Tingles
Oh, sure.
in their lifetime, or read a little bit of Very Blue fan fiction?
Mhm.
Sure. I mean,
Yeah.
no, I don't have like my camp of like smutty Kindle singles.
Yeah.
So this was like a new road for me, but I was into
Ooh,
it.
great. Yeah. I mean, overall, I thought it was like super fun. So okay, where do I begin? Do you want to look at the cover of it and discuss? Do you have the
Oh,
cover?
sure. Oh, I do. I have the cover.
Nice.
So basically, there's this woman who is nude, who seems to have some sort of silken blanket coming out of her navel that is also emitting sparks. And
Yeah.
behind her is just this buff quarter torso
Hmm.
with a dragon tattoo coming out of its nipple.
Yes. It's
And
a
then, yeah, there's a dragon just flying through the sky, just in case the word dragon, the dragon shifter paranormal romance tagline, the chest tat of the dragon, like, is not enough to let you know that this is dragon
totally.
sex.
Yes. I was like, oh, okay. Like there was a part of me that's like, of course there's a like I was like, oh yeah, the dragon on the cover is maybe a little overkill, but then I was like, oh no, wait, it's a dragon story. Like, of course there has to be a dragon on the cover. I
There are
was
4 references to dragons on this cover.
yes, it's a lot. And like it's like fire too, which is like what dragon
Also a dragon reference.
yes. It's so my thing is that like their face like even though we see just like his bottom chin, it's like their facial expressions don't really like she's like ready to like go for it. She looks like she's having an orgasm right now. And the guy is like
Yeah.
kind of like pensive looking off. And I'm like,
Yeah, he looks like he's distracted by the dragon in the sky, and she looks like she has just had an orgasm. Also,
yeah.
her belly button is way off center the more I look at this, and
Oh,
now
and
I'm
it's low.
obsessed with her belly button.
Yeah. And her hair's very long. Yeah. It feels like it's very low. Hang on.
It's
Yeah. It is off center.
like anatomically, that is nowhere near where her belly button should be. They
No.
just really also wanted a belly button on the cover along with the 4 dragon reference. I wish his earring was on the cover. What a missed opportunity to Photoshop an earring on.
I know. It's just like the most infuriating thing for me and other readers is like, yes, I know this is like a stock image or whatever, but
Sure.
it's like you can make the stock photos resemble the characters in the book. It drives me nuts. It's like, is it that well, who am I to say? It's probably hard. But I'm like, is it that hard?
I don't know if it is that hard. Like, I will say, like, this woman looks like she needs a sandwich, and Lucy in the book is described as plus size.
Yes, and that's another thing. I mean, aside from like silly earrings, is that like especially like I feel like there's like so many great books out there with women who have curves, but like they're on the cover, they are
Right.
thick thin.
I mean, YA as a genre is getting much better about that. So maybe that's why I'm like, oh, I wish she was larger.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wish she was larger. And maybe I wouldn't mind all the dragon references. Like, they could keep them all if like
Yeah.
her belly button wasn't just so distracting, and she
Yeah.
also was like actually resembled the character more. I
I
mean, I
know.
don't know. I will say, like, the design, like the fonts look nice. Like, it looks very professional.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think it like ultimately it's sexy. Like I find it titillating for sure, but just like upon closer look, I'm like, okay, like I have notes, but I feel like it's enough to make me like pick it up. Obviously I chose it. So I was like, I hadn't read like a dragon shifter romance in like a really long time. And I was like, oh, maybe I should like bring in dragons. I've done every other shifter. And I was like, dragons neither do.
Well, I'm glad you've read more of these because I haven't. And honestly, when I read the synopsis and it mentioned that there was a medical element, I was like, oh my God, yes. And then the medical element never happened.
No, and I was re-looking at it, and she does have like a rare genetic disease.
I Googled it. It doesn't really seem like a thing.
It doesn't. I didn't know, like, there was no Wikipedia thing on it, and then it was, like,
Oh,
mixing it up with, not that Wikipedia is the end all of, like, is something real, but, like, there was like, I found nothing on it, and it was, like, it was labeled as something else
I
too.
found one thing. I found like Zollinger-Ellison syndrome, which sort of seems like Crohn's disease. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's not sexy. Like,
Mhm.
I really hope we're not just coming up with like a nickname. And then I think there was a form of, no, there was, yeah, and I couldn't figure it out.
'Cause it
And
yeah, it said that she's like, "Oh," first of all, the reason this is brought up is wild, is that, like, okay, so this woman, Lucy, she's, like, has, like, the right DNA to, like, m make dragon babies, and, so the dragon realm can, like, spy on the humans, like, through
through
video,
television sets,
which is
apparently.
horrifying, which is, like, absolutely the scariest thing in the whole world.
It's such a male thing, isn't it? I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, like first of all, like this is a very like dominant kind of culture.
Mhm.
But also they're just spying on humans without them knowing.
Yeah.
Eh, uh,
It's very weird, and I was like, "Oh my god." I had to open my door a little bit because I realized my light is, like, fading. I, yeah, 'cause I was, like, thinking, like, where are these cameras?
there's no
And
cameras, there's just dragon magic.
I know, and I'm like, "Are they watching her change?" Like,
Right, are they watching her pee? Like, I'm
yeah,
concerned here. So,
yeah,
okay, so the medical element was that, like, the king's mates all produced children that were sickly and had some
mhm,
illness, and they all died, so they used the oracle to find a human who genetically would be a perfect match for him, and
yeah,
apparently she was, having this non-existent syndrome that is never once again mentioned, and also
right.
that her mother has some, like, obscure form of diabetes or something.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't know how genetic that is. Like I'm just gonna say not genetic.
Yeah.
Genetic predisposition, not a thing. And then it's never mentioned again.
Right, but I feel like what genes were right were the dragon genes. That I thought was spot on, science was correct with those dragon genes.
Well, they were pretty sexy type genes, I'll be honest.
Oh my god, totally. I mean, the main character, Amos, like, he seems like the hottest guy in the world. Like, it was like it was too much.
He was a lot. Like, I love me a smoldering bodyguard who can't help
Mhm,
himself but like move in on this unwilling bride for whatever royal person. Like,
mhm,
that is a trope for me. I am down. And if there's a medical element on top of it, I am so there. First
uh-huh,
of all, medical element not happening. And Amos
mm.
was a lot. He didn't really seem to have much of a personality.
No, he was just like, "I am into this woman, I am in love with her, my personality is all about her."
Well, he also just had such a disgust hard on for her, like literal hard on through
Yeah,
so much of the beginning
mhm,
that I was just a little grossed out by him.
yeah,
And then, of course, once we got more backstory on his character, I was like, oh, all right. Like, he does
yeah,
care for her and he's protecting her. And
mhm,
obviously, we don't ever get into this, but the prince who he was protecting, right, who died of this sickness is gone. And now it's like this gross king and
mhm.
whatever. But yeah, like, I think he just came on way too strong. Like, those guys on like dating websites who just like send you 5 paragraphs about themselves and you're like, oh, no, 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 no.
Yeah, he definitely was, like, just hopped in that pool of Lucy right away. If that's not the right metaphor. He
I
was
mean,
into her.
he definitely couldn't keep his hands off her.
Yeah, and he tried. Boy, did he try. But the
Oh, bless him for trying.
I mean, though, okay, so there were so he, like, okay, so he kidnaps Lucy to, like, marry the king, and he's like, "I know, I whatever." He's torn. He's in love with Lucy, and their initial, like, sex scenes, I guess, were him saying, like, "I can't touch you, but use your hand, and that hand is mine. And it was like these kind of like sexy him like watching her touch herself scenes.
Yes, it was a very like dirty I'm gonna watch you moment. And then in the end, he's just like comes at her with his mouth. Like,
I know.
my
Yeah.
God.
I felt like sometimes like with those things like in I'm like, how is it like I was like, is it possible like the way like their hands, and it's like they were very good at multitasking with their fingers, like fingers could do different things, and I was like, wow. I
It's
don't
the
know.
dragon realm. It's
It's a
magic.
dragon realm. I know. It's like hard. I really wanted it to be like grounded in the real dragon realm that you and I live in, and I have a lot of notes.
I
Um,
mean, I actually my favorite line, I highlighted this, I was looking for it. It's in chapter 9. Oh my God. I think this is just might be like one of the things where it's like you need an editor,
uh-huh.
but it's one of those like he as he stroked the tension out of her body with his mouth, she'd fallen into a dark sleep. Not like after, but as. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God, like who falls asleep when someone's going down on them? Like what a moment to not be conscious anymore.
I know. It's so weird. Like I read like that. I find that in like vampire novels too, where like a woman's having sex with a vampire, and then it's like right after she has an orgasm, chapter ends, and then it's like
No, literally in the middle of the orgasm, she just
no.
falls asleep. Is what
Yeah.
I was confused there. Because there's a lot of her conveniently just falling asleep in
I know.
this.
She gets a lot of good sleep. Definitely, especially given her situation. I'm surprised how well she sleeps.
Yeah, and so much bath time. But like one question for me is I'm pretty sure she just didn't wear any underwear for 2 months throughout the entire
No,
story.
she didn't want to,
No.
because like she's betrothed to the king, and he has to like mate with her or something like on a full moon or whatever. It's just
On like the harvest moon
yeah.
only to impregnate her.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh my god." He also has like 12 million other wives.
Oh, he has
And
like 4 wives, and some of them are children.
yeah, which is like horrifying. And
Yeah.
so she has to wear, I guess like it's like a chastity belt.
It's
And
chastity underwear. Yeah.
yeah, and she's like, "I'm not wearing it." And she's like, "Amos, don't tell anyone I'm not wearing it." And she just doesn't wear it. I mean, she has her thong that she wore when she like came through when she was like kidnapped. So maybe she was like washing that every night or something and like hanging it up to dry. And
I
then
mean, she definitely could have been doing sink laundry. Like we've all been
yeah.
there.
I mean, we're doing it right now, I mean, I'm not, but I know other people are.
Well, I definitely did a bunch of hand wash yesterday, so
Oh, yeah.
same Lucy.
Mhm.
My favorite part that just made me sort of die laughing, and I was reading this at like 5 in the morning,
Mhm.
was the moment where there are actually condoms in her bedside drawer.
Yes. That
Like
happens.
she's no, like they're there. Like she's
Yeah.
the wife of the king of the dragons, like his
Mhm.
one of his many wives, with a chastity underpants locked on her,
Yeah.
apparently.
Uh-huh.
And they've just helpfully provided her a drawer of condoms in case.
Yeah. I mean,
Sure.
yeah, and they didn't even use them. That was like what
I
bothered
did
me my
appreciate them
most.
discussing it though. I felt that
Yes.
that, because this woman was kidnapped by these
Mhm.
people. I felt that was like a very nice, safe thing.
Yes, I do like that they discuss it. I will say I do have a criticism in the end, like, so they don't use it because Amos is like, I I don't know, like I can't get you pregnant because I'm a dragon or whatever. There's like
Who told like there's such bad dragon sex ed.
I
Like,
know.
my God.
The Oracle told him, because remember in the end he
Right.
was like, "Oh, bro, I got that wrong." Like it was like
Bro, you believe I was like, my jaw was on the floor. I'm like, how does this grown ass dragon man not know if he can get somebody pregnant?
I know. And like it, and also like that's so fucked up to be like so like with the Oracle.
Yeah.
The Oracle is like this cool dude who like is whatever, their ally or whatever. And he's like, "Oh man, you didn't know? Oops." And then the scene
Yeah.
just ends. It's not like, "What the fuck are we gonna do?"
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is a comic relief character, I guess, but also like not funny anymore, bro.
I know. It was very weird. I mean, the one redeeming thing is that like Lucy's on board for anything.
Yeah.
Like it's a short book, so I feel like you didn't like spend too much time of her like, am I dreaming? What's going on?" And she like to the point she's like, "Yep, sure, I'm in a dragon realm and I'm supposed to be marrying the king. Of course this is happening. And it's like, great, we don't need to like spend too much time with her, like just like kind of easing her way into it.
Yeah, I really appreciated that there wasn't a lot of like exhausting escape attempt, stuff that
Yeah.
bogged it down. I mean, we
Mhm.
definitely got a lot of sex scenes. Like,
And I
I'll say
thought,
that.
yeah, and I thought they were actually like really hot and like well written
Yeah,
too.
they were steamy. Like they were. I just wanted some recovery time between them.
Yes. Yeah. Because I feel like it's a short book and like, I feel like, there was the heavy emphasis on the steam. So I'm like, if you want some steam, like go for it. But yeah, you do take like a bit of a, like, I feel like she comes in, like, she goes in, and then there's like 2 months pass. And we just realize, like, for the past 2 months, they've been fucking every night. And it's like, whoa, what? Like, I need like emotional development from those 2 months.
Yeah, I wondered if that was too much to ask of something like this because
Hmm.
there was suddenly like a rebellion and a whole backstory, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, there's so much in this. Like there really is a lot of world building and also the dragon magic stuff. Everything had an explanation. Like
Yeah.
I mean, the explanations were banana pants, but they were there.
Yeah, I mean, it was, and that was so great. Like, this was probably the most ridiculous thing I ever read, and I mean that in the best way possible. I do think it is a series because, like, obviously, it kind of ends with like, oh, we got to help out the young child, the young child bride. After 2 years, she's no longer a child bride, so I'm assuming her story is probably next.
Yeah, I googled it. I was curious. There are apparently a lot of these.
Ooh,
There
there.
are many more.
Oh, not. I mean, they're. I'm sure. I wonder if they're all novellas. I'm sure they're all like quick reads. Like you read them in a 2 days or something, and then it's like great.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, like, as I was reading it, I was like, oh God, what am I reading? And after it was over, I was like, are there more?
Oh, are there more? There's plenty.
Not that I'm going to read them, but like just so I know.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I knew there were more. Like the second I read, well, obviously I see on Amazon and whatever, but like the second that I like read that there's a side character who's also good looking, I'm like, oh, this is a series. Great. I'll read the next one when I'm done with this one.
I have learned that about romance novels that there's always a single friend or like a friend of the main character, and that
Mhm.
girl winds up getting her own book at like either next or later on, and the side
Yeah.
characters all come in and feature.
Totally. Yeah. Like if they're described as like a decent, pretty, or good looking person, I'm like, okay, their story's next. What else? Okay. I did think like the sex scenes were steamy. I did also kind of enjoy reading the description of when the king turns into a dragon and then when like Amos turns into the dragon. Like just the way it was written, I like was able like I don't know, like obviously I have no sense if it's like good prose, but like I really was able to picture like the spikes coming out and like his neck turning back and like a snout coming out.
Yeah, I really liked the part where when Amos like turns back into his human form when
Mhm.
he does it while dropping out of the sky. I'm like, this
Yeah.
dude is so steamy. Like,
Mhm.
my God.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of human form versus dragon form, Zara and her dragon scaled vag.
Oh my god, I do. What the fuck? I didn't even remember that because that's so bonkers. Okay, so if you guys are curious about the I guess what dragon growing up dragon is like, before you become an adult, like your like genitals are dragon genitals, and then once you become an adult, like you can morph back and forth. Is that? It was very weird.
Yeah, it was that. It was like to prevent unwanted pregnancy. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
but what about queer dragons?
right.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I just go there all the time, but it was, yeah, it was like so she can't pass through the portal because she's not fully shifted,
Hmm.
and it was I don't know. It felt like it was one of those things that tried to be about medicine and science at like the like Lucy's mysterious like mother having like mother's diabetes being a factor,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it just like failed miserably. But when they were like, oh yeah, underneath her chastity underwear, like it's a dragon hoo-ha, I was like,
Yeah.
oh dear, we really have thought of an explanation for everything.
I know. And it's like, okay, you need it, It's like she's going to have her, I'm sure her story is probably coming, or like in
Oh,
the
it's coming. I was curious who was next. I think there's one
yeah.
about the Oracle too, and I'm just like, ugh, him.
He's like, I mean, yeah, he wasn't like I was like reading some of the reviews and everyone was like, I love the Oracle. He was so funny. And he was like, like the class clown who's like too much. Like they're just annoying, not
Hmm.
funny. Kind of the Oracle fell into that.
Stone Surfer Merlin.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, where it's like, okay, like you said one funny thing, but like, you gotta let the jokes breathe a little bit.
Yeah, the thing with this book is the sex scene descriptions were great. Like you
Hmm.
were there, like you were following along, they were engaging.
Hmm.
Um, but the dialogue was pretty cringe, and the
Yes.
Oracle was all dialogue.
Yeah. And I have to say, Amos's dialogue, which we kind of like talked about, was also very cringeworthy. One being his nickname for her, which was Hatchling.
Yeah, that was a little infantilizing. I wasn't a
I
fan.
hated that. I was not a fan. That's exactly why I hated it, because I'm like, I can't. Like, nicknames are great. Like, who doesn't love a sexy nickname? But this just was not sexy to me at all.
Yeah, I didn't find that very sexy. I also thought it was amazing when Lucy was breaking up with her boyfriend Dale before she got dragged into the dragon realm, that every time one of them spoke, they began their dialogue by saying the other person's name
Oh,
back and forth over and over again. Lucy, I want to dump you. Dale, I want to dump you first. Lucy, how dare you? It was like, oh dear.
yeah. That there was a funny like thing where she was like, oh, there was like a funny detail that made me laugh where she was like talking, like chapter one, talking about a relationship with Dale, and she was like, he always gave her self-help books. And it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that guy was not a keeper.
Not a keeper. There was something funny, like also like Amos is like watching this like the breakup happen through the dragon, cameras or whatever. And he was just like, at first like he was talking and like maybe the Oracle was like, chill out, bro. And then Amos was like, she should like thinking like she should what phrase do earthlings say? Kick him to the curb. And it's like, what like slang words do you know and don't you know? Because like you're friends
Right.
with the Oracle who like talks like how we talk. You kind of talk how we talk. Why are you acting like you're an alien on this planet for the first
Yeah,
time?
that was weird. It's like, do you guys just sit around like watching Riverdale with no pants on? Or do you like not have access to that level of human pop culture?
Yeah,
Unclear.
because if you have like cameras set up to everyone's life, you would think that like, oh, you know how to be people, even though you're people dragons.
Right. Also, why would you do anything else if you just had cameras set up on any human being that you wanted, right?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, who would you spy on if you were a dragon and you had to spy on anyone?
Oh my God.
I don't know who I would. I don't know the answer to that for me. I guess
I do not have an answer.
yeah.
I mean, obviously, isn't it just like when you get like let loose after a little too much bad wine with like social media, and you just look up
Mhm.
all your exes, and then like that girl who was really mean to you in 10th grade on a group project, and then you
Yeah.
spiral and suddenly like you're looking up like bloggers' siblings, and you're just like, oh God, get me off the internet, and like I hope no one ever discovers what I've done.
Yeah.
I think I might just be in like a horrible deep dive.
Do you ever like when you reconnect with like someone from high school from Facebook, you're like looking at your own Facebook page and you're like, am I cool? Like I need them if they're gonna look at my Facebook page, I need to make sure I look cool, as opposed to me being like, oh, I wonder what they're up to. Like, oh my God.
I mean, I definitely haven't updated my Facebook page in years. It's like it's a thing for me. I
Mhm.
refuse staunchly to give in to Facebook.
Oh, I never
Um,
update it. I'm just like, do I look cool? And then I just freak out and then go and then go to
well,
bed.
I have this problem that like a lot of my social media is, largely geared toward fans of YA novels and
Mhm.
teenagers and whatnot. So a lot of the time, people who I knew in high school will find me and they'll follow me on social, and I'm just like, oh my God. And it's a lot of time. It's like boys I knew when I was in school, because
Mm.
I did a lot of like sort of co-ed activities, and I had a lot of friends that were guys, and I'm just like, oh, this is embarrassing.
Mhm.
Like, all the buy my book links and that kind of stuff. I'm like, do you really want to follow this? You're like, it's like following a teen girl brand.
Mm. I guess so, but maybe they're like impressed. You never know.
Oh no, they definitely are, and I've definitely had more than one former high school classmate get back in touch and DM me, especially with this book with You Don't Live Here, telling me that they also identify as bisexual,
Mhm.
and it wasn't, they didn't know that in high school, and they're so like excited for the book, and um, even people that I really wasn't super close with in high school, it's kind of lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
amazing.
feel closer with people who were not in my close friend circle in high school now, who I've just sort
Mhm.
of come across in like the later years. But I moved away. I mean, did you ever like live near to where you like spent your childhood when you were an adult?
No, I grew up in New Jersey, went to school in Boston, and then came out to LA right after that. So, I mean, yeah, I did a terrible job and still kind of do a terrible job keeping in touch with people I went to high school with. Like, obviously, we talk on Facebook, and if someone's in town, but few and far between. I'm bad at it.
Yeah, I'm not great at it. I mean, I just also have such an overwhelming amount of DMs that come in.
Hmm.
Especially like when I have a book that's about to come out, or I don't know, when it's school book report season, I'm
Uh-huh.
assuming, um, that I have the best intentions and I'm standing in line somewhere and I see the message and I think, God, I really need to sound cool. I'm a writer, I
Hmm.
need to really reply to this well. And then I'm like, oh, I ghosted that shit.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. I feel like it's very funny that people will reach out to you when it's like a school assignment. So like, do you have the answer to
Oh my God, they're so blatant. They're just like, they just send me their homework. Like, what are the main themes? What would you say is
Oh.
an example of a metaphor? I'm like, okay. Although I did get such a weird one recently, and I talked about this on social media. I got a DM from a teen boy
Mhm.
saying that his teacher had assigned him to, reach out to an author, and it sounded legit. And
Mhm.
he needed a personalized selfie of me holding up a sign with his name on it, um, for like for this school assignment,
Okay.
potentially for like it was very unclear, and
Mhm.
it was in the middle of coronavirus homeschooling, so I was like, oh God, I feel so bad for these teens, but also like it's very icky for a teacher to tell their students to please slide into the DMs of adults and ask them for personalized selfies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I was like, oh, that's not great, but I did it. I did the photo, and I never replied to this kind of thing. I was just like, I should, it's like a
Mhm.
moment where we should show compassion. I replied and I wrote back, weird assignment. And then the student admitted that this was not actually maybe the assignment. What it was a scavenger hunt. That
Wow.
was optional. And I'm like, oh, that's actually worse. Like, that's worse
Yeah.
for a teacher to say, here's a scavenger hunt that's not related to any school assignment about reading books, where you should just DM a bunch of adults and ask them
Mhm.
to like, send you like authors,
Yeah.
musicians, who knows, like ask them to send you personalized like selfies with your name like written down on a piece of paper.
Wow.
I
That's
was
very weird.
like, as like a scavenger hunt. I'm like, this doesn't seem like a safe extracurricular activity. Like, where
No.
where are those like learn to do computer coding kids?
Yeah. Right? Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
so weird.
So that was like a bad DM situation
Mhm.
recently, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Okay. Guys, don't ask Robin to take a photo with you.
I felt so had.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
I don't know. With
Um,
teens, it's always selfies. I don't know what it is with selfies. Like selfies are like dragon gold, apparently.
yeah. They need it. It's their currency. Do you have any final thoughts and a rating for Chosen by the Dragon? Rating based on, I mean, I always ask like my guests, like you can rate it on based on how much you enjoyed it. And it's A through F, yeah, like A. A through F.
A through F.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's a solid like B minus.
Mhm. Mhm. I gave it a B plus because like why did I give it a B plus? There was something that oh yeah, I wasn't a fan of the spoiler alert, she gets pregnant in the end, and I just like wasn't a fan of that. But other than that, it was the most ridiculous thing I ever read. It's a really ridiculous thing to read right now. Go for it.
Yeah, I would definitely say go for it. Like it was beautifully stupid.
Yes, absolutely.
Like
And
it was
yeah,
titillating nonsense. My brain liquefied just a little bit, but that's kind of what I need right now.
absolutely. Like I feel like if you need like a break and you just need something ridiculous to read, like pick this up. It is bonkers. It's just bonkers.
Okay, I'm glad you think that as someone who has like read other dragon shifter things, because I couldn't tell how much of it was original and how much of it was just like using dragon shifter verse
Mhm.
tropes. So I'm curious what you think as someone who's like encountered this sort of story before. How original is it?
I I will tell you this, there is another book titled Chosen by the Dragon.
Oh no.
But that happens all the time. Like there's so many people are just like putting out books like um original, like sure, yeah, I guess there was like original things to it. Like the characters felt original. But yeah, I mean it's very it's all tropes. It's all things that like are I have read before, but it's also kind of like fun because I'm like, oh, I know what I'm getting into. Like I'm not, they're not gonna turn into, it's not suddenly gonna like go back to like, Regency era. You know what I mean? Like I just like I know what I'm gonna read, and it's like that's like that type of book.
I would have loved it though if the Dragon Realm was kind of stuck in the Regency era and they were spying
Totally.
on the modern world. Because then this like weird medical, like magical malady situation would have been, it would have made a lot more sense to me. I just wanted that element to be in there. That was what
Yeah.
made me so excited about it, that there was some kind of dragon medicine.
Yeah. Yeah. I like agree with you now that you've like pointed it out. I'm like, yeah, dragon medicine, that would have been fascinating. Like honestly, it's one of my favorite parts about Outlander is the medicine thing. Like it's hot and
Oh,
whatever,
me
but
too.
I
Oh my
love
God.
the medicine stuff.
Yes, like anything where she is doing like field medic work in Outlander, or even just
Mhm.
like bringing contraband like acetaminophen back in time, I am
Mhm.
living for it.
Yeah, and when she's like discovering like herbs or something and she's like, "Oh, like monk fruit can be used for whatever whatever." And I'm like, "This is so fascinating."
I have been so I'm writing like a historical fantasy series, and I have to use like historical medicine but also magic in it, and it's all accurate with like 17th century medicine. So I have done a deep dive into like herbal folklore and remedies recently, and it has been the
Uh-huh.
most fun thing in the world.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I just sort of wish there was like some dragon herb that was like a magical cure in it. Like I kind of wanted her to have a little bit of a Claire from Outlander vibe, I think,
Mhm.
by the dragon. Like, oh, well, you think it's going to be me, but I found this magical herb and now you can mate with any woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't supposed to have that plot. Maybe it was all about Amos's earring.
Yeah. But listen, you are going to be writing a fantasy medical series, and frankly, I am very excited for that.
I am so excited too. I'm like waiting for the moment when I'm allowed to like unleash the full extent of this on the
Mhm.
world and like explain what it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, when it's out, I would love for you to come back on.
I will totally come back on and we can find a thematically appropriate piece of beautiful smut to read
Oh
again,
my
because I
god.
loved this.
Yeah, this was so great. Well, thank you so much for being a guest. The book is out June 2nd. Is that when it comes out?
Yeah, June 2nd.
Awesome. Yay.
And unfortunately, there is no steamy dragon sex in it, but there are two very charming, nerdy girls kissing.
Oh yeah, and it was like it was cute and it was very sweet, and I have to say like it made me cry, and it's a
Oh,
tearjerker and I just loved it.
I'm so honored. Ugh. I'm like hiding my face. I'm like, no, no, don't. I'm too
And
flat.
oh, okay, then I'll it was the worst thing.
Thank God.
Too Stupid to Live is part of the Frolic Podcast Network, which also includes the podcast Not Your Mom's Romance Book Club, and here is a little more about it.
Hi, my name is Ellen,
And I'm Ellen's mom.
and together we host Not Your Mom's Romance Book Club, part of the Frolic Podcast Network. Our podcast is basically like having a book club with your gal pal and her mom who thinks she's part of the gang and won't leave you alone.
Lame, whatever.
Kidding, to a degree. We post new episodes every Monday, and you can find us on social media at Not Your Mom's Rom. Find Not Your Mom's Romance Book Club wherever your favorite podcasts are sold for free, and happy romancing!
Thank you so much for listening to Too Stupid to Live, and have a great rest of your day.